This year we grew tiger eye, painted pony, calypso, Lena Cisco's bird egg, and then we did have some different varieties that we grew for green beans too to enjoy during the summer. Once the skins start to get a little crunchy, we bring them in and set them in baskets and make sure they're all the way dried out before we open them up. Even after we have them in bowls, we'll leave them out on the counter for a couple weeks. And that just allows them to be 100% dry. If they're not all the way dry, it's not very healthy and it's too hard to digest. We'll put them into jars and freeze them for 24 hours before taking them out and putting them in the pantry. After they're dried like this, before you cook them, you will soak them for 6 to 12 hours. I like to put in a little bit of baking soda. It helps the skins to be more tender. So then after that, you can just cook them until they're tender. It usually takes a good amount of time. So if you wanted to have it for dinner, I usually start it early. We're making a chamomile infused honey to use to wash our face with. So it's just simply covering the chamomile flowers with honey, and then you'll let that steep in there for a few weeks and then strain it out. Honey makes a great face wash because it's moisturizing and a great exfoliant. It's also antibacterial, and it's especially good for winter skin because of, like I said, it's moisturizing and it doesn't strip the skin's natural microbiome like a soap would. So I like this as a face wash.
Making some ginger snap cookies with apples on top, and they have cardamom on top, and they're really yummy. And when you roll them into balls of flour, they look like Petoskey stones because the flour makes a cool design on them.
So, our chickens do like to eat scraps and leftovers from the garden. And so they've been through eating this Romanesco, which we are clearing out, and then going to be putting in a couple plants that were taken out of the garden. Kale plant and a couple cilantros. Bring those over to the chickens and let them feast.
These are autumn olives, and they're an invasive species. So by harvesting them, we're actually helping them to not spread. And it's hard to see because they're so wet. Can you see that? Oh, they're speckly. They're little red berries that have a little silver speckle on them. So you have to freeze them before you eat them. Otherwise they have too many tannins and you'll get a stomach ache. After you freeze them, you can use them similarly to how you would use cranberries. They're very astringent and have a lot of the same health benefits that cranberries have.
A shawl. It's a traditional Scottish pattern called Feather and Fan, and I got the pattern from my friend and I'm excited to finish it off.
Ingredients here for our chicken pot pie. All this is coming right here from the Cassie Farm garden. We've got carrots, potatoes, these are purple potatoes, and some leeks. Onions are going to be over here for our gravy, and a little bit of garlic, and some fresh parsley and sage. So that's what's doing it veggie-wise for the pot pie. Stay tuned.
Earlier today we harvested some autumn olives. Threw those in the freezer. It was a small harvest, but it'll be good to have those, and hopefully we can get some more on a drier day. This time of year, astringent foods are sounding especially good to us. We have walnuts, leafy greens, even the winter squash has some astringent qualities. And as our bodies are craving those, nature is providing those, and that is because those foods help us to cleanse our bodies naturally and gently before moving into the winter season.
I like making these cranberries because it's a very easy recipe. Just a few ingredients and you don't really have to do much to it. I've just added whole cranberries, some minced ginger, some zest of a whole orange, and then half of the orange juiced. Maybe that was about a tablespoon or so maple syrup in there, and then just kind of get it hot enough for everything to break down. If you're real fancy, you can hit it with a little Grand Marnier, but that orange liqueur is a nice to mention. Once it's cooled off, it's dynamite.